Hi guys, I'm Jamie, and this afternoon I'm coming to you with Zone Plus Media's Entertainment Break. And as you could tell, I'm very excited because this afternoon we are going to be talking about one aspect of Sugar Mass 47. This segment of Zone Plus Media is brought to you by Beauty by Gypsy.
Crazy people, macho, let's go. Real job, walk up, 2, 3, 4. So when I dead, put job on me tombstone.
So we are actually here with Mr. Leon Bullen, and he is from Grenada, and he is bringing a bit of the Spice Island to our Sugar Mass this year. Good afternoon, Mr. Bullen. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm doing great.
Fantastic. Now, you guys are bringing Jab Jab to St. Kitts. Now, many persons in St. Kitts may not be aware or may not be familiar with what Jab Jab is. So tell us a little bit about Jab Jab. First, define Jab Jab for us.
Alright, well, there is no one definition for Jab Jab. Jab Jab is oil, Jab Jab is helmet, Jab Jab is chain, right? Jab Jab is a music. So it's a vibe. It's something that would have been started since the days of slavery, from the days of the liberation of the slaves. And that's where the whole Jab Jab thing came from. Because the Jab Jabs, or the people who dabbed themselves in black oil, were imitating and mocking their former slave owners, who used to cover themselves in black varnish to represent the slaves as part of a troop. Right? So when we were liberated, we said, you know what? We're going to throw it back in your face. And we covered ourselves in oil, put on the helmets with the horns to represent the former slave owners who we saw as devils for what they had done to us. And that has persisted over the decades and centuries. And it's the biggest part of Grenada's Carnival right now.
And it's important to note that Jab means devil, correct?
Devil. Yes. Jab comes from the French word diable, which is devil. So Jab Jab is double devil. Alright, so we don't worship the devil. We portray our former slave owners and masters as devils, and we do it through the arts, through Jab.
Okay, yeah. So tell us the motivation to bring Jab Jab to St. Kitts.
Well, you know that song, When I Dare Put Jab Jab on My Tombstone? I remember that. It's one of the biggest songs in Grenada's Carnival for 2018. Right, I've been playing Jab since I was a kid. Not full Jab, but as I got older, it is part of the culture, and so you do what you see others doing. And so I started doing when I was a teenager, and it just stuck with me, right? And now that I'm older, now that I have an understanding of the history behind it, it means even more to me now. So it's not just about, wine and jam and have fun. There's a historical component to it, and so we are keeping our history alive by playing Jab. Right, so that's what it means to me. It's keeping the culture, the history alive. And I mean, once you're in this thing, man, it's infectious. It becomes part of you, and you can't stop.
So now you are in St. Kitts and you are bringing it to St. Kitts. How many persons have you had registered for the Jab Jab so far?
Okay, so let me just give you a real quick story. We estimated that we would have a ban of about 25 persons. Right? It's the first year. We figured, well, many Grenadians would take part because it's a Grenadian thing. I mean, the Trinis want to claim Jab Jab, but they don't have Jab the way Grenada does, right? I mean, Grenada is the heart and soul of Jab Jab. Ask any Trini who's been to Grenada and they're going to tell you that, right? So we thought initially that we'd have about 25, 30 persons max, right? And so when we sent out the word, immediately we had about 25 responses. So we said, oh my goodness, this thing, we miscalculated. It has now grown to about 52 persons, and we believe that by Juve morning we'd have close to 75 persons. So right now we have about 52 persons who have registered, right? And we think the numbers are going to increase.
Okay, so you are about to bring an experience to them. The persons who registered, are they aware of what Jab Jab is?
Well, most of the persons who registered are either Grenadian by birth or Grenadian through osmosis, right? Maybe through a spouse or something like that. But we have about, I think, 6 to 8 Kittitians who have registered. There's one guy with an African name. I'm assuming he's from Nigeria or another country in Africa. And we have 1 or 2 persons from Angola who are coming over as well for the Jab Jab. So what I would have indicated to them is, well, first of all, I asked them if they had any former experience playing Jab, and none of them really did. Well, the Kittians in particular, right? And I said, well, we will walk you through the process. They said they've heard about it, they've seen it on YouTube and whatnot. They're curious, they want to experience it, and so that's why I said we're going to have a meeting where we're going to walk you through the process of putting on the oil, taking off the oil, what you put on before you put on the oil, because you just don't put oil on your body like that. You need to put a covering of lard or Vaseline that'll stick to your pores, and we don't want that, right? Because I've been doing this for years. I've never had a problem. Right? When I did it incorrectly as a kid, you'd smell the oil for a couple of days after. And once a real jab took me under his wing and said, son, this is what you need to do. And I got that straightened out. I've been fine ever since. And you don't smell anything, right? So people might be turned off by the oil, the black oil. But once you do it properly, you will not have a problem. You'd have fun, you play your mass, and at the end of it, you come out smelling good.
Okay.
Right? So yeah.
Now, we know in Grenada we usually have snakes and other creatures during the jab. Tell us what is going to happen here.
Okay, so we are in St. Kitts and Nevis.
No snakes.
Clearly, this is not Grenada. Grenada, this has been going on for decades, right? So they used to see a little snake. One time I saw a guy with a big eel around his neck. You know, you'll see other animals that I'm not going to mention right now because I don't want to turn anybody off. But we're in St. Kitts. We're going to respect the fact that we're here and that folks may not be as open to what is done in Grenada. I mean, I've never...
Ease them into it.
Well, not ease. We're staying away from that altogether. We'll give them the oil. We give them the chain, right? The helmets. We give them the music, because of course we're going to be playing jab music.
Okay.
I mean, Talpri and Mr. Killer, Westways, everybody. They're going to be there, right? They're going to be playing. We're also going to feature some of the Kittian music, because we are in St. Kitts and Nevis. So they're going to get a nice blend.